Tired of chasing trends, likes, and views? Welcome to BTA Friday, Breaking the Algorithm. I'm your host, Kelly Morgan. Here, we break the algorithm with real strategies to market and sell your books. No more algorithm anxiety, just practical approaches for indie authors. Like and subscribe to help build our community. Hey everyone, Kelly here. Welcome to another episode of BTA Fridays, Breaking the Algorithm, where we don't just chase likes, we talk about strategies that make authors stand out. This is where we break the algorithm and we put something better in its place. So today we're going to dive into something that I don't think I've heard really anybody talk about, and that is, should you put your book in Braille? Now, when we think of different formats for our book, we think of paperback, we think of ebooks, we might even think of audiobooks. But Braille? Well, you know what? That's a whole different world. And it is different, and maybe that is where you stand out. So let's talk about Braille publishing and what it really is. So Braille isn't just another format where you upload to Amazon. You can't just click it and say, make the Braille edition. It doesn't work like that. Braille books are created by certified transcribers who adapt your manuscript for touch reading. Then they're embossed. The printed is embossed with raised dots on special machines. Because Braille takes more space, let's just say a 300 page print book can easily double in length once it's converted. And that alone changes the entire production process. So let's get into the cost of putting your book into a Braille format. First of all, understand it is not free. The professional transcription and the embossing can run a few $100s to several thousand, depending on the length of your book. Now, children's books and novellas cost less, obviously, because they're smaller. Nonprofits and Braille publishers sometimes will cover or even subsidize the cost of your content if it serves their readers. But know this, yes, converting your book into a Braille format is an investment. And the return isn't usually direct sales. The return is going to be the reach, the credibility, and the impact. So let's just say you decide, okay, I'm going to get my book in Braille. How do I even get started? And this is the part that most authors don't even know where to get started. First of all, there are professional transcribers. So you can go and hire a certified Braille transcriber through the National Braille Association. Or you can work with other organizations like the American Printing House for the Blind or the National Braille Press. The typical rate is about $3 to $6 per page. That's one way. The second way are nonprofits and institutions. Some, like the National Braille Press, or even the Perkins School for the Blind, or even the RNIB Bookshare, which is out of the UK, create Braille editions for their networks. So they might create your book for their network. You can also look into converting your book by yourself. There is software and there are DIY programs. There's one called Duxbury Braille Translator, or there's the Braille 2000, and it can convert text into Braille. But remember, you're still going to need that embosser to make the raised bumps, the raised dots, which is expensive. And usually the software and the doing it yourself is usually for institutions, not really for indie authors. There are hybrid services as well. Companies like BrailleWorks, they hire everything, like the transcription, the embossing, and the binding. So bottom line, whether you're going to hire a transcriber or partner with an organization, that's how you're going to get your book into Braille. And remember, you're going to have to see it as an investment because these services are not going to be free. But once you've decided that it's going to be worth your time and your while to put your book into Braille, let's really dive into who the audience is. So in the US, there's about 1.3 million legally blind people. Now, fewer than 10% read Braille fluently. So the audience is small, but that also means that there's almost no competition. If your book is one of the few in Braille in your genre, well, it could very well stand out. But let's not limit the conversation just to the US market. Braille is a global system. Okay, so check this out, you guys. English Braille is used in the US, Canada, the UK, Australia, parts of Africa, and the Caribbean. Spanish Braille opens doors to readers across Latin America and Spain. French Braille is common in Europe and Africa. And organizations like the RNIB, which is out of the UK, and Vision Australia, and the CNIB in Canada, and Bookshare connect Braille readers worldwide. Globally, y'all, there's about 43 million blind people and nearly 300 million with moderate to severe vision impairment. Now, not all of those people read Braille, but those who do are drastically underserved. So when you put your book into Braille, you're not just reaching a handful of readers in the US, you're actually tapping into international networks. You're going across borders, you're going across languages, and you're going across cultures. All right. So now that we've got the book into Braille, how do we even go about marketing or distributing said book? Well, this is where it changes again. Again, you don't list your Braille editions on Ingram Sparks or Amazon or even Kindle. The distribution channels are completely different. Number one, there are specialized libraries in the US, like the US National Library Service for the Blind. I've mentioned it before, the RNIB in the UK, Vision Australia, and the CNIB in Canada. There are schools for the blind who are always seeking age-appropriate material for their readers. So if you write children's books, you may want to consider putting that book into a Braille format. And there's nonprofits and community leaders. Most will distribute Braille books directly to their members. So the promotion shifts as well. It's not ads or the algorithm, y'all. It's something totally different. If you are going to market and promote your book in Braille, then the best way to do that is to partner with nonprofits so that they can include your book in their catalogs, donate copies to Braille libraries, pitch disability inclusion podcasts, blogs, and conferences. Leverage local and international press because guess what? Your book is available in Braille and not everybody's book is. Um, this is, to get your book, to get your Braille book into the right hands, this isn't algorithm marketing. This is networking marketing. And once you're in the network, your book keeps moving. So I asked the question about Braille books that I wasn't really sure is that do Braille books have genres? And yes, they absolutely do. They're not just lumped together. Libraries and nonprofits will organize them by romance, mystery, memoir, nonfiction, children's, just like any other format. The difference is in the discovery system. Readers browse through accessible catalogs instead of maybe walking through a bookstore. But the genre distinctions are still there. So I think putting your book in Braille gives you a competitive advantage. So if you're an author of color, I really think this can give you a competitive advantage. Most Braille titles available today are by mainstream majority culture authors. If you're an author of color and you decide to publish your book in Braille, you are closing two gaps. Number one, you are closing the gap of the lack of indie authors who actually publish their book in Braille. And number two, You are closing the gap on the lack of diverse voices available for visually impaired readers to read. So that's two gaps. This also gives you a very competitive edge. You know why? Because number one, your book is now visible. Your book becomes rare, inclusive option in its genre. You get to partner with press and nonprofits and schools and media outlets that highlight these types of books and that are all about making sure that your book is represented. And guess what? Because you are now publishing your book in Braille, you are now opening yourself up to grants and to other opportunities. Because guess what? Diversity opens doors to funding and speaking engagements. It's not about outselling everyone. It's about standing out in ways that most authors never will. Putting your book in Braille, yes, it is an investment, but I truly believe it gives you a competitive advantage. So let's put it all together. Is it worth it? Kelly, is it worth it to actually take my book and put it in a Braille format? Well, let's put it all together. The cost. It's not cheap. You can expect hundreds to thousands of dollars depending on the book length. And you got to remember, y'all, this is an investment. The audience. The audience is small, but it's global. There are underserved readers in the US, the UK, Canada, Australia, Africa, Latin America, Europe, and beyond. Almost no competition, y'all. All right. The distribution, not Amazon, not Ingram Sparks. You are moving through Braille libraries, nonprofits, schools, and international networks. You are no longer being a slave to that algorithm. You're going to have to go out there and do real network marketing. The competitive advantage. Well, especially as an author of color, you would be one of the few indie voices actually making your work available in Braille. Now, y'all, I don't know about you, but I think that is visibility, that is credibility, and that is impact. So, is it worth it? That is the $64 million question. Is it worth it? Let me break it down for you. If you are only chasing the quick sell, probably not. Probably not worth it for you. But if you're building brand, if you're building reach, if you're building long-term credibility, then yes. Braille is a niche. It really is. But a niche is what makes you different. And in publishing, different is the only advantage that lasts. You know, you guys, breaking the algorithm isn't just about outsmarting social media. It's about, God, I cannot talk, you guys. It is about breaking barriers so that no reader anywhere in the world is left out. You know, when we break the algorithm, we break the algorithm and we put something better in its place. So, you guys, this has been another episode of BTA Fridays, Breaking the Algorithm. You know, and even if Braille feels out of your reach right now, definitely something to keep on your radar. If I've given you something to think about, if you've enjoyed this episode, please share it with another author, like, subscribe. Let's build a community together and break the algorithm and put something better in its place. Now, time for my laundry list of things. On Mondays, y'all, I do something called the Author's Mic. I have guests every Monday. If you are creative in this space, if you are an author, if you're an illustrator, if you're an editor, if you're a reader, I would love to open up the platform and share this space with you. Go to my website. You'll see the link that says Be a Guest. Give me some basic information. Boom. You get the scheduling link. Schedule yourself. Let's connect. Secondly, if you are thinking you would love to write your book, but you really don't know where to get started, there's a lot of pitfalls out there. I got you. I got a 44-page guide. It's 100% free. It's on my website. It's called So You Want to Write a Book. Go download it. Start your indie journey. If you are a reader and or author, we have a book club. It is called the IRS, the Indie Reader Society. We would love to have you join us as a reader. We would love to have you pitch us as a author, because we are looking for a new read, it could be yours. And y'all, if you're interested in supporting me, I have two books out there. One is called You Sound White. The other one is called Wait for It. Both are available on my website, brightheadedpublishing.com, or you can get them wherever good books are sold. If you get them from me, I ship them for free. I got some free goodies, but no pressure. Go and get the book wherever good books are sold. And Wait for It is an audiobook. Whew, okay, that is a lot. So let me wrap this up, y'all. Um, if you are looking for something different, maybe something competitive, maybe putting your book into Braille is the answer for you. My books are not in Braille, but it's something that I'm really thinking about after doing the research. Remember, y'all, this is BTA Fridays, Breaking the Algorithm, where we break the algorithm and put something better in its place. My name is Kelly, indie publisher, indie author, and I will catch you next Friday.